Hello everybody, welcome in. My name is Taylor, also known as the Mustard Queen, and welcome to FoodTokTV. Arx is not in today for her usual time for her show at 4 p.m. Central, so it is me coming in to show a quick weeknight dinner. We are going to make some chicken Caesar smash tacos. And if we have time later on, we will be doing a white hot chocolate. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do some ground chicken, season that up really well, smear that on some tortillas, heat that up, and also make a very yummy Caesar salad with that. I have done this recently on my show with my husband, the Tailgate, and when I did that with my husband, we were outside on the grill, so that wasn't a really short, quick recipe out there, but it really is a weeknight recipe. It just doesn't portray when you're going on the grill. So come on in, tap the screen, share the live out. We'll get started with the Caesar dressing first. So I'll make the Caesar dressing, prepare the lettuce, get our fresh stuff out of the way. And then we'll work with some of the raw things, the raw chicken. We'll season that up and put that on the tortillas, and then we'll switch over to cooking. So let's work on fresh first. Welcome in, everybody. Please let me know if you can hear me okay. Hello, hello. I'm gonna start with some good old mayo. For my chicken Caesar. And now I love to do this dressing of Caesar salad. I love to do it with the homemade aioli and make it from scratch. However, mayo is kind of one of those things where it's not cheaper when you make it yourself, unless you're focusing on the oils that go in there. If you're focusing on the oils that go in there. So when you're making dressings, it's just better, it's cheaper to buy the mayo and turn that into a dressing than it is to create your own aioli with some oil and egg. Unless you really like the taste of like avocado oil in your mayo. So we'll start with a nice little, I love Caesar salad. Love it, love it, love it. And even if you're not an anchovy person, or like anchovy gives you the ick, I swear it's good. It's kind of your gateway into anchovies, I think, as far as using anchovies for dressings. Now they do sell anchovies in a tube, and that is really good. I love using anchovy paste in a tube, and it's also really good to add to dishes just for a little bit of umami, a little bit of thing. But I also really love using these fillets, and these are fillets from the Caesar salad I used recently. I didn't use the entire tin of it, and so once you store it back in the fridge, it can last in your fridge after opening a tin, putting it back in the fridge for 6 months. So, I love that as too, and they're very tender. I'm kind of using this little like portable blender ordeal thing. It's kind of one of those things meant to make you a smoothie, but I have been using it for my salad dressings. Oh yeah, there we go. Awesome. I already used it. Hey Jeanette, hey Mark, how are you all doing? Welcome in to a random pop-up of Cutting the Mustard. If you are new to FoodTokTV, we do live cooking shows on the daily, Monday through Friday. There are 2 shows a day. Monday through Thursday, there's 2 shows a day. Then we have 3 shows on Friday. Then my show is typically on Saturday for the Tailgate, but I'm picking up for Arx today since she's out. All right. Whew. Hello, Jeanette. Hello, welcome in, everybody. And I love the chicken Caesar smash taco. I love the smash of the taco. That's been my thing. Like, I love that concept for weeknight meals. Having a lot of fun with that. Now, when I was at the store, I didn't know if we had lemons or not. And so what I did was I got Meyer lemons. I was so excited to see Meyer lemons. They are a little bit more expensive, but if something's really dependent on the lemon flavor, it's something I can pay a little extra for. It just adds that bit of sweetness in there to that. But the kind of idea for this meal was like, I didn't want to go too far out of the pantry. Like the chicken and the cheese, chicken and Parmesan are going to be things that you can't really have on hand. But a lot of this other stuff you are going to have on hand. Love a Meyer lemon. Me too. The only thing is that I typically buy lemons that are seedless just so I don't have to do like the whole this notion. But you know what? I will go through this for the Meyer lemon. Now, anybody else do this and think, I wonder how many cuts are on my fingers. I don't have any right now, but typically that's when I discover I have one. Okay. Maybe a little heavy on the lemon juice, but this isn't as acidic as a regular lemon for the Meyer lemon, so I am going to be okay with that. And then of course we got to have some mustard. Love adding mustard to my salad dressings. Now, mustard is a naturally bitter flavor, and people don't consider that when they're balancing their food because, you know, when you taste it, you taste for salt and sweetness and if it needs spicy or anything like that. But bitter is a flavor profile that, you know, deserves to be balanced with it. But nobody's ever tasting something and it's like, you know what, this needs more bitter. Use ketchup much better. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. By the way, if you weren't aware, my handle on this app is Ketchup is Garbage. I'm also known as the Mustard Queen. So when people tease me about my hate of ketchup, that's what that is. It actually started out before I started making mustard content with... I created a book face group called Ketchup is a Garbage Condiment, and I did it as like a tag group so that way people would just tag it whenever they would see misuse of mustard or misuse of ketchup, you know, in cooking groups. And now there's 17,000 people in that Facebook group. So I have some salt, some pepper. I put a little bit of Dijon in there to balance that out, some mayo, and then a little bit of Worcestershire. And then we'll blend this up, see what it tastes like. I'm wondering if maybe I should have waited to salt it because the anchovies and the Worcestershire are gonna be salty. Where did my little, oh, you know what? I'm confused because this portable one of those, it's meant for smoothies. This is one of those like portable ones meant for smoothies, but I use it for my dressings. Like something that's not gonna be harder than like a bell pepper. Did I not charge that? Oh no, that was the problem. I didn't charge it. Let's see. That's a bummer. I have used this a couple of times and I don't think I've actually... Oh! I don't think I've given it a full charge since I got it. So I'll give this a charge and we'll work on a romaine lettuce to get back to the Caesar salad because you know what? I like my dressings to sit anyway. So, got my romaine, and you know, this is another thing of produce that isn't technically a pantry item, but whenever I buy romaine, it lasts in my refrigerator forever. Like I have found romaine in the back of my fridge that I bought like a month ago. And so I love doing stuff with the romaine. Y'all are killing it with the gifts. Thank you, Fran. Thank you so much. And for the follows. If you are following FoodTokTV, you're not just following me. You're following 16 other creators that go live every single day on this platform. Thank y'all. So whenever I'm cutting something that has a core like this, you want to cut on the core and then cut elsewhere. Like this is very important when it comes to like broccoli and stuff too. So that way you're not like shredding that everywhere. So cutting it in half so that way I can get, there we go. That way I can wash all the insides here. And now this is just gonna be feeding me and my husband, but he absolutely loves salad. Loves salad, so most of the salad is probably gonna be for him. But the other bits are gonna be on top of our chicken Caesar smash tacos. Woohoo! Just doing a rinsey rinse. I did wash it when it was whole, but I'm washing it again now that it's open. Because, you know, these things grow out of the ground, so as they're growing out of the ground, there's a lot of layers for things to get stuck in, you know? Oh, yeah. Do y'all like it to be like teeny, teeny, tiny little like dice, or how do you like your salad? Do you like big chunks, or do you want it super, super fine? I'm going for tacos, so I'm thinking I'm going to go fine here. Now, when Ryan and I typically make a Caesar salad. Now, this isn't my usual time for FoodTokTV. I am usually on at 6 at 4 p.m. Central with my husband Ryan, and we're outside. We're moving it inside because it's getting a little chilly out. And we do a show called The Tailgate where we're grilling and doing a bunch of stuff out there with it. So a lot of times when we do these salads, we will do, we'll grill the romaine first. And it still keeps its like romaine-y texture. It just has like some heat from the grill. So good. So good. Just going through my assortment of stainless steel. If you have a ton of stainless steel bowls, you know. Hey, Mama T, how are you? Hey, Sean, how's it going? Happy Monday. Y'all, welcome in. Thank you for reposting and following. Y'all are the best. We would be nowhere without our fans on Food Talk TV. And we do these shows every day. If you miss some of the shows or you want to binge watch some live cooking shows, we have the replays up on the long form channel. I just love the sound of cutting lettuce. I'm going to be quiet so we can hear it. Love the crisp lettuce. Love it, love it, love it. Huge fan of the Caesar salad, so why not, you know, grind up some chicken, smash it on a taco, and then top it with a Caesar salad. Why not? Today's a good day for that. So y'all, hello. So one thing I'm struggling with right now, I'm in Nashville, and so like a lot of other places in the US, there is a cold front coming in. But just a couple of days ago, just last week, our trees finally started changing colors for fall. And then this morning, today, it's snowing. It might actually still be snowing. It's not like actual snow where it's gonna stick and do anything, but it's definitely snow. Thank you for the follows, y'all. And you know what? I need to say hey on my own account, so that way y'all can follow me over there. I go live on my own page sometimes. I'm working on doing that a bit more. And then I am also working on putting out some serious content. So watch out, watch out. I'm going to say hello. That is me, Mustard Queen. There you go. Thank you for the follow, y'all. And then a nice... Now, a lot of times with Caesar dressings, people will put Parmesan in with the dressing. I do it either way. There we go. There we go. Not enough of a charge. Hey, you know what? If you spend $8 on a portable blender and then, you know, don't be surprised if it doesn't work perfectly when you're on a live show, you know? Now, because I did use just store-bought mayo and I'm not emulsifying anything that's easily a dressing, I could have just used whisk if it wasn't for the anchovy. Yeah, I'm gonna try to whisk this in a thing. I have actually used this blender for dressing before, and I absolutely love doing it. You just gotta make sure you charge it. Oh. It could sense I was giving up and it started. Love it. Love it. Okay, I promise y'all, this is actually a good tool when it's charged, but I'm testing it today. Oh dear. Crap. And I decided to do this when I'm home alone, so I don't have a man to help me open this. Oh, don't need one. Don't need one. You see that, y'all? Don't need one. Y'all, if you are liking this live, thank you. I appreciate you for hanging out with us, but also be sure you tune in for 6 p.m. Central, and that's going to be Melissa and Mark. I think I saw, oh, Melissa Murd liked the live. You can see her in there. She will be on at 6 p.m. Central for her weekly show, The Spice is Right, with her husband, Mark. And then they play games on their channel afterwards. So you should check that out. You know, considering that that did a really good job processing everything. But I'm realizing I didn't put any garlic in there, which I think is a crime in some places. So... but it's okay. I got my microplane out, which on our last show, Ryan and I had decided that it's time to replace our microplane. And it's not something you typically think of as something that needs replacing often. But apparently the life of these things are like 2 or 3 years. And I use mine a lot. UMPT on the bike. What up, October Dragonfly? Another FoodTokTV creator. She is on every other Sunday with Kaz, and so she will be on this upcoming Sunday at 6 p.m. Central. And if you are a food creator that, you know, you're looking to go into going live, or you're already going live and you want to take it a step further, You may want to submit a video to FoodTokTV to see if, you know, catch our eye, or you can just have a conversation with me, see what the next steps are. You know, I love doing black garlic too. I've done black garlic in a lot of applications, but I have not done it in a Caesar, and I bet that's amazing. Oh yeah, we're kicking off the holiday season. Yeah, I'm excited for that. Oh, I am excited for holiday cooking. It's way more fun than Halloween cooking, because I like Halloween cooking, but it's pretty much just whatever you want to cook, just make it into a funny shape. All right, so I did something that I don't like doing is I have the salad already in here, but whenever I'm tossing a salad, it's much easier to dress the bowl than it is to dress the salad. And so I may not have enough dressing and I may need to make more, but it's okay. We'll have enough for the tacos that I'll be making, because we're at the Caesar salad portion of the tacos. So yeah, it's easier to dress the bowl, you know, and then tongs. And then kind of move the salad on top of it and then toss like that. Like in the salad fry station at a restaurant, the way that they toss a salad is way quicker than I would ever do here. It's literally something along the lines of, and you know, the reason they do it that way is because it does get the dressing tossed over in a much speedier format. Oh, you know what? This is going to be enough dressing. Hooray! Hooray. I am noticing that I kind of wish I would have patted my lettuce a little bit more dry. I'm noticing it a little, you know, but it's okay. Especially if I'm going to be saving this for dinner later on today. So as it sits for a few hours, I'll be fine. Sitting for a few hours is not something I typically do with tossed salad. Anywho, all right, salad portion is done. And one thing that I did with my chicken Caesar tacos last time was that I had made, instead of doing any sort of crouton or anything, I did Parmesan crisps over it. And so when we were outside on the grill, we had just put like a piece of foil down on the grill and then just did some like Parmesan over the top of them and like let them melt into crisps. And it was already in the foil. And so it was great. So I'm going to try something like that stovetop variation. All right. Thought I had my cast iron, my other cast iron. Tried that, but let's season our chicken real quick. I'm not doing any binders or anything like that. I am just going to be putting the ground chicken in here, and then that's too high of a bowl. You guys can't see anything. So I'm just going to be seasoning the chicken. I'm not going to be doing any sort of like egg for a binder or anything like that. I will be adding some mustard, of course, because I am the mustard queen. And plus the flavor of mustard, amazing on so many things. Cuts the richness, all sorts of things. I guess this is not a hand and glove situation. Oh, yes it is. Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. So for this one, whatever kind of seasoning, what kind of rub you would like, I would typically go with a paprika, maybe a little bit of chili powder or cayenne, maybe some oregano in there. I have this tropical zinger in there that has like some citrus and some rosemary and some chili in there, but I love the citrusing of it. Kunchi made this. Cooking with Kunchi is one of our creators, and he has a spice line, so of course I'm using some of his shebang in there. We're also going to do a ton of black pepper, and then I'm going to be seasoning this with some Flockman's Cuban style mustard. It's a kind of yellow mustard style base, and then they put garlic, wine, and herbs in here. So it's kind of what I call my cooking mustard. I call it my cooking mustard just because it adds a little bit more to things. And then. Nope. And then. So, I'll probably need a little bit more seasoning. And just to make sure I have enough seasoning in here, I do have my cast iron already heating up over here. And after I combine this, I'll just heat a little bit of this on the skillet and cook it. And so that way I can taste to see if I seasoned it well enough. Because, you know, obviously I can't taste this now and see if it's fine. Not over mixing. Now I was going to use a little bit of this chicken seasoning in there as well. Yeah, extra chickeny. I've never had complaints that the chicken tasted too much like chicken. Okay, not wanting to overmix, but everything's combined through. And then I have my there we go. Hi, friends. Hi. So I got my, got my little cast iron skillet here. This is hot because I was trying to heat it up. By the way, y'all, it is a winter snap. So a lot of your cast irons are going to be stored in places that are a lot colder than what it has been all summer long. So if you are cooking with cast iron around this time, you're going to want to slowly heat it up. Put it in your oven, let it warm up with the oven. Put it on here and start it on low and then increase the heat accordingly. Because if I were to just put it on here when it is, you know, in my storage thing, which is kind of close to the outdoor wall, you know, when it's cold and I immediately put it on high heat, this bottom part of the pan here is going to heat up before the sides do. And when things heat, they expand. So if this bottom thing heats before the sides heat, then it's going to snap in half. And Melissa Murd has had that happen before. So just so y'all know, if you are cooking with cast iron around these times, make sure your cast iron is warming up. I think I could have put a little bit of oil in there since there's not a lot of a lot of fat in this ground chicken. I want to put a little bit of oil in there. I'm just cooking a little bit of this to see if it's seasoned appropriately since I am making an entire meal of it. If you have gas, keep it in the stove. You know, I've never cooked with gas, so I don't have any of the gas suggestions there, but yes, y'all just be mindful. Oh yeah, and this chicken's gonna cook up very quickly. One thing I love about the smashed tacos is one, that it uses ground meat, and then second of all, it's just like, you know, you sear and you don't really have to focus on whether or not it's cooked all the way. And so a lot of times whenever people make dumplings, a lot of dumplings places, when they season everything in a bowl, rather than using a skillet, they'll also just boil it. That's another option. I don't know why I was about to pick this up with my fingers. This is why gloves aren't always the most health conscious things to wear, because people forget that there are things on the glove. Thought I had superhuman strength for a second. I love all this effort to cook this little bitty thing right here. Hey Des, how are you? She just walked in here. That's another one of our Food Talk TV creators. She is on Thursdays at 4 p.m. Central. Monday through Saturday, there is a 4 p.m. Central show. So, and we have had live shows on Food Talk TV since 2021. So, what up? Hey Trini. She's another Food Talk TV creator. She is on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central. What up? And this is just a tiny, tiny piece of chicken, so I'm just heating this up to make sure I don't need to season it anymore. And then I'm going to burn my tongue to get us that sample so we can hurry along with the show, you know? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Oh, yeah. It's cooked. Oh, that is very well seasoned. That's very well seasoned. Okay, cool. 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 So, I'm going to go ahead and start smearing my, I'm going to start smearing my meat on my shells. I have these little street taco shells here. I have these little street taco shells here. And so I'm not sure how many of these I'm going to be able to fill with 1 pound of these, but one thing I didn't do the last time I made these chicken Caesar smash tacos is I didn't, one thing I want to do is like kind of cook up some bacon bits in here first, so that way there's something for them to cook up. Nah, that's an extra step. That's too much. I know you guys would vote yes. Never mind. Never mind. I'm going to vote no on that. I think it would taste really good, but I don't think you guys would see the difference. So I'm going to reserve these just in case, because I know I'm going to have gross hands. Okay. Another glove bites the dust. Hey, hey! Mustard is planning dinner for me. I'm glad I'm planning dinner for y'all. Love it. Y'all welcome in. And let me know if you're also experiencing the same cold snap that we are. Because it was so difficult for me to want to get out of bed today. It really was. I put on this backwards. I was like, why is this glove not fitting me in the right way? I'm going to see how long I can wear this glove until it just drives me batty. Almost immediately. We're just going to spread it over the edge. And remember, we want it to be about even thickness across the whole thing with our chicken mixture on here. But as the meat cooks, it's going to shrink. Got to get a new glove. That was driving me batty. Okay. The thumb is the small one. Okay. Cool. And one thing I have done when I have made these chicken Caesar smash tacos before is I'll get a little bit of breadcrumbs to the side and sprinkle them over the top. I just don't immediately know where my breadcrumbs are. Maybe I'll do it. This isn't my regularly scheduled show. I am typically on Saturdays, but you know what? I am liking these pop-ups. So this is my cooking show, Cutting the Mustard. Thank you for coming in and hanging out. And if you're enjoying the live, you should share the live out because, you know, if you're enjoying it, maybe your friends will. And also it tells the app that I'm doing a really good job and maybe I'll, you know, keep doing a good job. You know. I'm trying to keep the one hand clean, one hand dirty. So it's been fun for my smearing technique. I wonder if I put a little bit of salt underneath my tortilla. Okay. Sliding a little less. Wasn't the lifesaver I was hoping it would be, but, and that'll probably be a very salty tortilla. Thank you for the follow. Freckled Raven and Tracy, y'all, thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you for the heart me. Yeah, get your heart me's in. We appreciate you. This recipe is up on foodtoktv.com. You'll also find some free downloads, and then you'll also find there's a free downloadable ebook on there for some fall favorites, and then you can also check out the schedule and the recipes that we post on the live shows. So the recipes that we make on the live shows go onto Food Talk TV. So this one's already up. I've already posted it, so you can see it. The photo that's in there was from the last time I made these, but it was when we were outside grilling. A lot of times when I make smash burger tacos, especially last time when I did the Mediterranean ones and I made the bread to go with it, I measured everything out. And so I'm fortunate to where I'm just like spreading it on here and eyeballing it. But you can separate everything into equal balls first if you think that will be helpful. But yeah, I used my kitchen scale for the other ones I did just to distribute evenly. Whew. And so I got this cast iron right here. That's heating up. I feel the heat right over here on my elbow, so it's weird that I keep bringing up how cold it is outside when my elbow is all nice and toasty. Oh yeah. A lot of recipes, you know, I do not have a great attention span. Just don't. Attention span is not one of my best qualities. So sorry, not it. So when I'm cooking recipes, you know, it's very easy for me to lose interest. So I often offer things like, hey, you can do this ahead of time. You can do this ahead of time, like the salad dressing that we made for the Caesar salad. Like that can be made, you know, that could have been made a day in advance. The chicken can be seasoned and prepared a few hours in advance, you know, those sort of things. Yeah, I pretty much just scrapped my clean hand. Story of my life. Y'all, I appreciate the fans hanging out in here. Appreciate y'all. We have a really great group of people that hang out in the comment sections every day of our Food Talk TV shows. Thank you for being supported. Oh yeah, Trinity's on at 6 p.m. Central, so we got a full schedule. And so everyone kind of has their own little niche sort of thing. So none of us are too similar. Of course, like a lot of us like food, so it's going to be similar at some points, but okay, wow. I was not sweet. I think some of these I could have made a little bit thinner as far as the chicken goes. So maybe I could have gotten away with more. But I wanted to make sure it's a chicken Caesar taco. Because I think, oh yeah. I'm getting into over mixing territory, so. Okay, yeah, no, I don't have enough for one more, so I'm gonna find. Okay, so 1 pound of chicken that went seasoned very well. I didn't add any sort of binder or anything. Went on to 8 street taco shells. There we go. You know, if you were doing this for a grilling activity or something, then you could like do this, then go set up the grill, but you would want to keep these in the fridge for the time being. I'm gonna go wash my hands because even though I was wearing gloves, I dealt with raw chicken. Thank you all for tapping the screens and sharing us out. All right, washing my hands, washing my hands. Thanks for watching the tortillas for me, not washing them. Okay. So, fun fact, I was thinking about doing something in the oven to do the Parm crisps, because I was talking to y'all about the Parm crisps, but I forgot that Ryan had smoked a pork butt over the weekend, so I actually still have a pork butt in the oven that's on a low temp that I need to shred up. So, we're going to try this stovetop method. So, I am heating up this pan, because I'm going to try to get some Parmesan crisps. Because for the chicken Caesar taco, I was thinking of some sort of way to do the like sort of crouton feeling without, I mean, you could do croutons. No one's stopping you from doing croutons, right? But the chicken Caesar crisps, like the, just turning Parm cheese into crisps, like why not? So I'm just lining it with the foil, like so. And let's get some chicken Caesar tacoing. A little bit of oil. What up, Brick? How are you? Yes. One thing I was thinking about for this recipe was to like dice up some bacon and cook that in here so that way there would be some bacon grease at the bottom, because remember there's not really a lot of fat in the ground chicken of it. There's also an idea I had. Ooh, that's too smoky, too smoky, too smoky. We don't want that. We don't want that. Woo. Calm down, girl. I love cast irons, but they take forever to heat up. And then they hold their heat really, really well. So when we get to this smoking point, it takes a minute to send us back. But one thing that is going to help send us back is me putting the very cold food on it. Oh, you did your first pork shoulder today? Or on Saturday? Amazing. I love a good pork shoulder, pork butt, but that very much so is a low and slow situation. So. I'm going to wipe out this oil. It's like, what if? Okay. I was thinking it was going to be a lot darker, so I'm not so worried now. Not so worried. All right. Chicken Caesar taco number 1. We'll just do 1 as the test. And then over here, I do have some Parm cheese from the rind. But I was kind of curious if my Parm crisps could work if it was this cheap one. So I'm going to do this for science. I got to do the cheap grated Parm cheese, which this is, I mean, this is Parm cheese. It's just very dry, very dehydrated. I'm reading all the things. The shaky cheese, yeah. Oh yeah. I am going with the snack size tortillas for these, but I thought about doing the 6-inch tortillas. Okay, yeah, that's feeling a little hot with this pan here, so. Get a spoon, a spoon, a spoon. Getting some of this cheese. I'm just going to put them into little circles. Kind of want to see. I know that because they do add cellulose to this as a preservative, something to keep the grates separated. Now, that's supposed to make it more difficult to melt. Like, that's why people won't buy the pre-shredded cheese, because they do a lot of that, you know, plant cellulose on the outside of it. But I think it will melt. It will just, like, you'll be able to see that it was grated, and it won't melt as one cohesive thing. That's kind of like what it looks like when you shred cheese you grated yourself. It looks like a whole cohesive thing, but if you melt cheese that you bought shredded, that's when you'll see the lines of separation. So that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. But we'll see. I'm going to cover it and forget about it, leave it alone. Oh yeah. Woo! Got nice and crispy on here. And I'm going to let it cook on here to crisp up that tortilla for a little bit. I did spread the meat on really thin. The meat is on really thin, so I am not worried about ensuring it's cooked all the way. And if you know, my new thing lately is the taco stand, because taco stands make it so where you can fill up your tacos with the fillings. I used to be so against it because you can't trust a taco on a taco stand, right? You can't trust a taco on a taco stand. But when they're your own, you know, you can trust it. You can trust it that it's your own taco. So, we're going to want to place it in here pretty immediately so that way it kind of cools down into the shape. So I am already seeing with the little crisps that we did, I had this on the hot skillet on there. You can see the bottom of it starting to turn brown, but the top not really melting. I wonder if I do a little flippy action. But otherwise, I'm just gonna make these crisps with a real Parm cheese. I just wanted to see if I could do it with the cheap stuff, you know, because I understand we're all on a budget nowadays. We're all on a budget. These taco holder things, like, these were the Dollar Tree versions, or the $1.25 tree version of it. Oh, wash. Wash, wash, wash. Oh, yeah. Okay. These are going to have to cool before they'll turn super crispy. But no, I did it. I did it. It works. So, there you go. Heard it here first. You don't have to use, you know, your $12 block of parm to make crisps. You can just use the Grady shaky cheese. I am going to want to actually do some quality parm. I love a good old cheese crisp. So I don't think I'm going to be getting this just for that purpose, but one thing I learned from Melissa and Mark's show, or one thing that Melissa and Mark have taught me, is like these lids that go with it. They also go on top of jars. So, you know. So the Grady cheese isn't a huge waste, right? You're making turkey stroganoff over egg noodles using ground turkey. I love ground turkey as an option for protein. I'm gonna let that cook just a little bit more, just because I feel like it could use a little bit more crispiness to it. Sounds good, and I love ground turkey as a thing. So we'll grate some more. And you know, I could just do this directly on my skillet too, but I'm attempting to do a better job with cleaning it, because I know anytime I do any sort of crisps or anything, it can be such a pain to clean. And you know what? When it comes to recipes and having the amount of time it takes you to make a recipe, I'm sorry, but the amount of time to wash dishes, or how many dishes you have to wash, should absolutely be part of it. Because it's like, yeah, sure, it only takes me 20 minutes to put it together, but if I'm using 6 different pots, you know, I'm going to be doing some work. I'm going to be doing some cleaning. Oh yeah, so you're going to be doing a little... Oh yeah. This is just a much fluffier experience. This is just a more fun Parmesan crisp experience. Like, I'm actually kind of upset that this piece of foil that my Parmesan crisps are cooking on, I'm kind of sad that they used to share the same piece of foil as the cheap Parmesan crisp. Alrighty, putting it into the taco holder. And so I just had them toasted on the skillet, and as soon as they're melted, I'm just removing the foil completely from the skillet, and then I'll let them cool, and then I'll have my crisps. You can also do it in the oven, but I'm liking the skillet variation of it. My hand was with the raw chicken, gonna wash again. Y'all, welcome to FoodTokTV. Thank you for tapping the screens and sharing out the live. Thank you so much for supporting me. nice little, and you know, it's still a little warm, so it's still a bit pliable. So if you were to do something like some sort of shell kind of situation, you know, this would be the time where you can like, ooh, make it into a shell, or you could like roll it up into like a, I don't know, fancy curly chip to look fancy with your, I could have made the chicken Caesar smashed taco in a Parmesan crisp. I could have done it. I could have done it. Why didn't you guys stop me? Oh gosh, could you imagine how long I would have been live if that was the route I decided to go? It would have been a long, long time. I think I'm going to do one more round of Parm crisps, and I think I'm going to have time for my white hot chocolate. Little pile of cheese. Yeah, so like something that fit this ramekin was going to get me like 4 crisps. And you do want to pile it high because cheese melts. Oh, thank you for the follow, y'all. Hello, hello. Thank you guys for joining me today. This is my show, Cutting the Mustard. I don't have a regular show for Cutting the Mustard on FoodTokTV. The creators on FoodTokTV all have their own weekly shows. See, once it melted, I just removed this from there. So you can usually find me on Saturdays at 4 p.m. Central on the Tailgate with my husband. But we are moving inside. We used to be an outdoor grilling show. Now, oh yeah, oh yeah. This is very much so pancake theory or waffle theory for me, you know, like as you keep going, the better off they're going to be. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, it was snowing outside today in Nashville, and it just turned fall colors though, like with the trees. So I'm not quite ready to feel like winter, but I still wanted something like nice and warm and cozy to drink. And so I am gonna be, but I didn't want hot chocolate. Like hot chocolate kind of sounded good, but I don't know, something about hot chocolate wasn't doing it for me today. So I'm gonna be trying a white hot chocolate while I'm finishing frying the rest of these up. We can do that. And because Ryan's not going to be home from work for a little bit, so I'm just going to do 2 servings of it. I know a lot of these recipes are going to be more than 2 servings. Like meant for you to like make a gallon of this stuff. But I'm just going to be serving me. So we are going to go with 2 cups of some milk. It's okay if it's a little more. I'm not going down here and like, you know, looking for the meniscus. And we're not wanting this to boil. We are just going to be simmering this stuff. And not this stuff. I'm just going to be simmering my liquids here. And then I got half of a cup of heavy cream. I can't read my measurements. I got this measuring cup because I keep having measuring cups where it's like there is something written on it as far as measurements, but as they erase with use over time, then I'm not able to read it. So I got this one because it's etched, but then I can't read it. Either way. So finishing up the chicken Caesar smashed tacos. I'm going to make sure this just simmers here. We're not wanting to boil. Now for this kind of recipe, I would recommend that you use white chocolate that is actually a high quality white chocolate. But of course in this economy, we just use what we have. So I am going with something that's qualified as a baking chip. So we'll see how it turns out, and good thing I'm only doing, okay, yeah, no, I want it to flip back. So I'll be doing something more qualified as a baking chip. I think it'll be good. It'll be fine. So I got 2 cups of milk and a half cup of heavy cream there. And 3 ounces of white chocolate. A lot of times white chocolates are served, or like they're sold in like bars of 4 ounce, or they're served in the larger bags. So this would actually be a good recipe for those 4 ounce bars, you know, use 3 ounces of it and have another snack. There we go, that's the brand I want here. Hey Jessica, how are you? Was there mustard anywhere in this meal? Fantastic question, considering my show is called Cutting the Mustard. And there was mustard done in the salad dressing for the Caesar. I used Dijon in that one. Dijon is a pretty standard go-to for salad dressings for mine. So there is Dijon in there. And then I also did some Cuban style mustard mixed in with the ground chicken. Great question, love it. If I get supper, I'm happy. I feel ya. I am so good. I'm having a good time today. I'm picking up for Art's show. She's typically on Mondays at 4 p.m. Central. And, you know, we like having a show every day, Monday through Saturday at 4. And so I was like, you know what? There's an open time. I've been meaning to post this recipe. So I did make this recipe on the tailgate. But when you're outside grilling, it's not really, you know, sharing the message of a quick weeknight meal, which this can actually be. Oh, it's okay. I actually didn't mix a whole ton in with this. It was just the, I just did the brown chicken and I seasoned it really well and added some of my mustard for the seasoning. I didn't use any sort of binder. I didn't use egg or anything to bind everything. You can go in. There's been a time where I've made this recipe too, where I added some breadcrumbs into it. Or I also sprinkled breadcrumbs on the top of it. But there's not really a whole lot in the chicken mixture itself. You know what though? You can't have a hot chocolate, even if it's a white hot chocolate, can't have it without whipped cream. And I don't have whipped cream, but I do have heavy whipping cream. So I just threw a bowl into my freezer real quick so I can whip some up. Past couple of times I went to flip it and it was too early to flip it, so we're gonna let it sit. And so now I also have my milk on notice. I'm not wanting it to boil, just wanting it to simmer. You know, this would be a great moment for vanilla extract, but I don't have vanilla extract because I'm better than that. No, I'm kidding. I'm really into my vanilla paste phase. If you've seen me cook the past couple of weeks, you'll know that I'm in my vanilla paste era. That in there. This is a milk frothing whisk. Let's see how it looks. Ah, yay! That's exactly what I wanted. What's for dinner? I am making chicken Caesar smash tacos, and while these are finishing up, I have some, well, I'm making hot white chocolate. So, measured out my 3 ounces of white chocolate baking chips. This is definitely a recipe you want to do. High quality white chocolate in this economy is what you have. So we'll see how the baking chips do. I'll let you know firsthand, but I know this recipe is good when you use a great white chocolate like Ghirardelli or something like that. So I'm doing a smaller portion of this. This is like a 2-person portion for the white hot chocolate. There's 2 cups of whole milk in here, a half cup of heavy whipping cream, and I think maybe like a teaspoon and a half of vanilla paste, measured with my heart here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's a good action there too, to let it kind of like drip off. And then you want it to form into the shell while it's still hot, 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 because then we're going to be putting our... Why can I not finish a sentence today? Then we're going to be putting our Caesar salad on top of it. You know, I say not finishing a sentence today like I didn't talk earlier about how attention spans are my problem. I always do this because the cast iron is really good at retaining heat, and since it's been heating up for a bit, now my hand is super hot, so. Oh yeah, got this, got this. Perfect on a cold night. Woo. Oh yeah, it's warming up. I'm watching it like a hawk. I'm not letting it boil. So, the reason why you're not supposed to let milk boil when you are doing something is, like when you're making warmed milk, you don't want it to come to a boil, because once it comes to a boil, you're breaking the emulsion, right? Because what is milk? It is something that comes from, you know, dairy farm, you know, but as it comes from the cows, they let it sit to let the, you know, milk fat rise to the top. That's where we get our heavier, you know, heavy cream and stuff like that, while the stuff at the bottom is just going to be the, you know, basically water weight of it all. And so when milk boils, that's when you're separating the water from the milk solids. Like there's milk solids and water, and then another thing I'm forgetting that's part of this 3-thing emulsion. I love emulsion science. Love it. But yeah, you'd be surprised at the things you don't think of being an emulsion is an emulsion, because what is an emulsion? 2 things that don't want to be combined that are combined. So this is a fat in water ratio, or fat in water emulsion, meaning that there are fat droplets dispersed in the water. So when we heat it up, we're wrecking the emulsion. And so that's when it separates, and that's why, you know, when you heat up milk, when you're making a sauce or something, that's why it curdles. The things we do to make that not happen is we do things like, you know, slowly warming up the milk. Or, you know, we heat up something and then take a little bit to the side and then add milk to it, or like temper it in some sort of way to where it's not so shocking. Sentence my lawyers deal with. That's so cool. Explain. Thank you. I have so many, like, just random, I have years and years and years of kitchen rabbit holes I've gone down. Oh, there we go. Perfect. And I got 2 more of these afterward. Basically, I don't want it around the time where it's going to hurt for me to put my finger in is around the time that I need to pull it. Because really the only thing, I mean, I'm heating it up so that way it's a warm drink, but I'm also heating it up to melt my white chocolate chips. I could absolutely just stir my white chocolate chips in here. I'm thinking about pulling it out to see if we can get a separate stir. I don't know. Because like as I've mentioned before too, I'm really big on not wasting extra dishes if I don't have to. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me while I'm making these chicken Caesar tacos. And, you know, if you've seen me cook a lot and you're sick of my smashed taco face, I'm so sorry. I'm not over it anytime soon. I'm not over it anytime soon. You know, I've been thinking about this one that I want to do where I do a falafel smash burger. So you have to get the garbanzo beans and you have to you have to use soaked fresh beans. I've even thought about like a black bean smash burger. I could actually just do the rest of my meals for the rest of the year that aren't holiday themed. I could just make everything into a smash burger. That actually sounds like a fun social media challenge. 30 days of smash burger. Got 2 more in there. It's not simmering, it's still smoking. I'm very impatient. That's the main problem of a lot of my cooking. Like, most of my mistakes when I'm cooking are due to my impatience. Like, there have been times, like, sometimes when I'm cooking dinner, I'll get so distracted I'll walk into the other room and forget. Yes, everyone get your daily heartbeat. Thank you, Kaz, for the reminder. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Combining family, food, and memories. Ah, yo, I got the Gen Z finger heart working. Yes, yes. I used to age myself by doing this, but no, now I look like a kid these days. Oh gosh, if you ever see me try to do things like kids these days, please stop me. The finger heart is where I draw the line. It's not that I don't think you kids aren't cool, it's the fact that I don't think I'm cool. Oh yeah, no, that one was laid on a little thick. This one was the one that was laying on thick. We're gonna have to let this heat. If you're not already following FoodTokTV, why aren't you? We go live all the time. Food Network's not teaching you how to cook anymore. May as well learn how to cook somewhere. But, you know, we're also just fun people, so that's a good reason to follow us too. But there's live cooking shows from many different creators, not just me. I'm on Saturdays at 4 p.m. Central, but we have 2 different shows a day, Monday through Thursday. We have 3 shows on Friday. We have me at the Tailgate on Saturday, and then we have Sunday Night Live on Sundays, which is TikTok's longest running live cooking show. We've been going live since 2021. Thank you, sister, for the follow. So, since I am waiting on things to cook, the pain in my existence, waiting for things to cook, I am going to, I'm gonna whip some cream. I'm gonna whip some cream. I'm gonna whip some cream, y'all. I'm in the process of downsizing and reorganizing how I want my pantry and my kitchen to look and everything. So half of my pantry is the way it used to be organized, right? And then the other half of my pantry is the way I want it to be organized. So all right. While I am just waiting, I don't need much heavy whipping cream. I am going to do this by hand. Why am I doing this by hand? I don't know. I like torture. How about you? I typically go electric whenever I'm doing heavy whipping cream. But when we did our live grub match show, one of the challenge where we got to meet each other live, like the FoodTokTV creators, we got to meet each other. And we did a live cooking challenge, and one of our challenges was to whip cream by hand, and it was just never something I like cared to do quickly at all. So that challenge kind of forced me to learn how to do it. So I'm grateful I can. Do it, do it, do it. Yeah, Kaz. He's the reason why I feel comfortable enough whipping cream on live. So I am going to challenge myself by using this tiny bowl. And so when we are doing it by hand, we want everything to be as cold as possible, so the bowl cold as possible, the cream cold as possible. I'm using a metal bowl so that way it kind of keeps everything cold super well.
And then as I'm whisking, rather than trying to do this motion a lot of times, I'm just moving my whisk back and forth here. And what I'm doing here, rather than circulating here, I'm introducing a lot more flour into it, or I'm sorry, a lot more air into it very quickly. So that's what I'm doing, right? I'm just like, this is an emulsion. Whipped cream is an emulsion. It is an air and fat emulsion. So, a bigger bowl would probably be better, but it's kind of making me do this. Who is Kaz? I don't know. Who is Kaz? You know, I know Rick knows who Kaz is, but for y'all that don't know, Kaz is the founder and CEO of FoodTokTV. He is on every other Sunday, so his show was last night at 8 p.m. Central. So he's the founder and creator. He's the one who thought of this all. He's my boss. Or am I his boss? I forget. Yeah, no. I feel like a bigger bowl should be what I do, but I'm too determined, y'all. Do you think I can do it? Do you think I can do it, or should I switch? Let me know in the comments. How much faith do you have in me? How much faith? Do you have zero faith? Type 0. Do you have like a little bit of faith? Type little bit. Do you trust me with your life? Type, I'm not very smart. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You got it? I got it? Okay. Okay. Good arm workout. Good arm workout. No, it's funny too, because when we were at the grub match, like everyone's standing and doing this, and for some reason I thought I would be, this was the key to my success, was I sat on the ground and had my bowl in between my legs. Because what we were supposed to do in the live challenge for the whipping cream challenge, what we're supposed to do when we were done is to hold, like he knew we were done when we held the bowl over our heads. Okay, see? It's nice and thickening up. It's there. I can do it. Got it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And this is just warm enough. I know if I ignore it for too much longer, I'm going to forget. So I'm pouring it over my white chocolate chips. And I'll get back to that after I'm done whipping my cream. Don't give up. Get the strong arm. Yes, I appreciate you guys. Yes, Christine is a FoodTokTV creator that did really well in this challenge, so she knows the struggle. She knows it. And you know, it is about the half point with my arm feels tired. But I can feel the cream within. I can feel it. And you know, how am I supposed to get stronger? How is my arm supposed to, you know, be able to put up to these type of tests if I don't make myself do it? Doing. It's getting there, right? Look at that. Whew. Now, because I'm just doing this on top of my hot drink, oh, got some cream in there. I'm going to give myself just a second of rest while I stir this. Y'all, that is not for the weak. Not for the weak. Not for the weak. Okay, you guys have faith in me? Okay. We are done with stove stuff. Yay! Which means I have to finish with my cream. Which, like, yeah,
bad for doing this by hand. Definitely worth pulling out the electric mixer, I think. Oh gosh, that would have been really embarrassing. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Not, okay, and so y'all can see, no whipped cream in the hairline. You know what, Alice, that is a great point. It would have been a lot easier in music, or if I was cooking like how I typically do, and not on a TikTok live, if I was just doing my own thing, I would be watching a movie or doing something else, or like, that would have been a good activity for a really intense scene. I'm gonna add just a little bit. Sometimes I'll add some powdered sugar in there to sweeten it up. I'm adding my vanilla paste because I'm in my vanilla paste era. Vanilla extract is just a little too basic for me. I say as I'm making the most white drink I could possibly make. But like, I love the vanilla bean paste. Because look, you can see the vanilla beans in there. Okay, I can see the vanilla beans. I think it's a very, very, I have a light right there. It's washed out. But I did it. Are you proud of me? Because I'm proud of me. I could have added some powdered sugar if I wanted a little bit of more sweetness in there. But I feel like this will be plenty hot enough. It's been a while since I've had a hot drink, so I don't actually have a... Okay, there we go. It's one of my favorite mugs. These used to be... my husband and I used to go to this bar where if you paid to be part of their club membership, like you would have one of these mugs at the bar for you, so that way you would get like a larger fill rather than a regular cup. And so like as a wedding gift, our bartender gave us our own versions of these. So mine has Taylor on there. I just think it's so cute. Like some Potter made for themselves. So let's see. Oh my goodness, that's so good. So good. I barely did any stirring in here. All this is, I was trying to do a smaller portion of a white hot chocolate rather than a whole thing. So this is meant to feed probably just me, but it's 2 cups of milk, a half cup of heavy whipping cream, and that was just heated up. Okay, I do see some melted white chocolate chip, or some white chocolate chips that didn't get fully melted at the bottom. Please hold. Gotta do this correctly. Please hold while I do my job correctly. Just a little bit. I have a glass bowl. I can just check. Ah, there we go. There we go. That's a serving. Wow, I really did just make a 1 serving white hot chocolate. But like, it's white hot chocolate, which is, you know, not hot milk. It's close, but it's not hot milk. It's better. But yeah, 2 cups of whole milk, half cup of heavy whipping cream, just heat it up and then let melt. 3 ounces of white chocolate. I did baking chocolate, and you know what? I think this is delicious. I was really worried because this is a high quality, you know, it's a high quality white chocolate chip situation, but I did baking chips and this is great. Cheers. Happy first snow day of the season. Oh, that is perfect. Perfect, except it's missing sprinkles. It tastes better with sprinkles. Oh yeah, immediately better. Word. So that was one thing that we made today, was this hot white chocolate. And then for the dinner portion of this meal, I'll have a display plate. Then we have our chicken Caesar tacos, which, you know, you've been here watching us. You know, that's just the corn tortilla. There's some ground chicken, very well seasoned. And then just smushed against the corn tortilla. Cooked until the meat is brown, flipped over, let the tortilla crisp up a little bit, and then we let them cool off in there. And then we have some of our Caesar salad, which I was super smart and tossed my salad at the beginning of the show, when everybody knows you don't want to toss a salad until right before serving. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine. There'll still be crisp. If I can grill my lettuce for several minutes and it still have a crisp, letting it soak in the dressing a few is going to be fine. Oh yeah. Can't have a Caesar without the parm. And we'll finish it up with some parm crisps. Love it. Kind of acting as our croutons. You could absolutely throw in croutons in there too. And in case you weren't watching earlier, these were kind of how they melted when it was the shredded cheese, and then this is the sheep shaker cheese when I tried to make crisps out of this. So it works. It works. It works. Just might not be as beautiful and decadent as the expensive parm topping. But you know what? In this economy, any parm that can crisp is parm worth having. And here we have it, the chicken Caesar taco. Lemon on the side, and my nice hot white chocolate. Now I know this is delicious. I don't even need to try, but we're gonna try it. I'll do a little lemon on there. Here, I'll let you have the first bite. Is it okay? Okay, cool. Love it. Absolutely love it. This is one of my favorite meals. And ever since I made it on the tailgate a couple weeks ago, this has been kind of a rotation meal of mine. So absolutely great rotation meal. I mean, I made all these, plus I've been talking to you guys, and I made a home, you know, this white hot chocolate. Took me about an hour. Y'all, I'm obsessed with the white hot chocolate. That is, because sometimes like chocolate is just too much. But the white hot chocolate, cheers. And then this is just so perfect. That little bit of lemon squeeze over the top just kind of brings everything together. Thank you so much, Cat Dog Gang. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Enjoyed the live. Y'all have been such a great audience. Thank you for hanging out with me. This recipe is already up on foodtoktv.com. It's chicken Caesar smash taco. I don't have a recipe up for this white hot chocolate yet, but I think we should. I'm really that obsessed. I'm really that obsessed. Thank y'all for joining me. And then it is 5:24, so in 35 minutes, 36 minutes, we are gonna have The Spices Right with Melissa and Mark. 6 p.m. Central. They're on every Monday on Food Talk TV, so stick around. Don't go too far away from TikTok, okay? Thank you, Fran. Okay, I will get you guys the recipe. The mug rolls, yes, it absolutely does. It's perfect. 20-ounce mug, love it. Well, I'm gonna go get cozy and finish up my tacos and my white hot chocolate. Tune in for The Spice is Right, 6 p.m. Central. Thank you for hanging out, my friends, and happy mustarding.